Before joining sustainable coaching, where were you and what were you struggling with the most?
Before I joined sustainable coaching, I would probably say I was at ground zero. I wasn't really doing anything for my health, really wasn't watching what I was eating. I felt really bad about myself and was just at that bit where I felt there was no way I could change. This is how I was. And yeah, I just didn't feel very confident about myself. Mentally, it was a struggle. And then physically, I just wasn't doing anything for myself.
And obviously, you've achieved so much on this journey compared to that person who joined then. What is different for you now on a day-to-day basis?
I think it's changed my whole narrative about myself that, actually I can stick to something and completely change and better myself. Now I really do, as much as I've obviously lost quite a lot of weight now, and I'm at the maintaining, maybe building muscle, losing weight, kind of a little bit of everything at the moment, but I'm making better choices when I'm eating, whether that's going out with friends or just day to day. I'm more mindful. Not that I'm cutting anything out or not having something, but I'm just more mindful if I'm having one thing one day, I might not go and binge on the rest the next again day. And then just also my activity levels. I think I'm really conscious now that, if I've had a day where I've been sitting at my laptop all day because I'm working from home and I've not had any movement, I can really see that impact on my mental health and also just how I feel the next again day. So I suppose just being more mindful about my day-to-day activities has been a huge shift for me.
49, 49 pounds down since
Wow.
you first joined.
See, when you actually, because like I used to always do pounds, and then since I switched my journey, I've always do kilograms now. So now I don't really look at it at pounds, but actually, see, when you
Yeah.
switch it over and say 49 pounds, that's actually crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's incredible. It's stoned.
That is,
Like if
yeah,
you went into the gym and lifted up a 22 kilo weight, that's when I think it's always amazing to see how
yeah,
much you've
actually,
really lost. You should do
no,
that when you go to the gym this week.
I'll try that because I definitely noticed. See, just I know we're digressing, but even just like when I've been moving stuff, just being able to lift certain boxes that I wouldn't
Yeah.
have been able to lift
Like you're
before.
physically stronger
Yeah,
now. And your physique has changed so much. And I mean, you started off doing home workouts because you were too nervous to go to the
yeah,
gym.
yeah, definitely. I had to stay at home. I think we were at home for the first 6 months to a year doing home workouts because, yeah, I just wasn't confident in, I suppose, not so much confident in doing the exercises because with your help, I was really getting into them and getting the technique down, and I felt really confident in the sessions I was doing at home. But I think, I suppose, the more the confidence I didn't have at the beginning was to go out and do that in front of other people.
Yes.
And
And that's what scares people so much.
yeah, so it definitely was a big transition going into the gym. But a year on, I noticed a huge difference just mentally. Like, when I first went into the gym, I was always really super conscious of who was around me or was I doing something silly or anything like that. And I think there's been a few voice notes to you when I've been using machines that didn't quite go right. But now I'm very much in my own little world and just realise that actually nobody cares because I don't look at anyone else while I'm at the gym. So now my mindset is completely changed because it's like if I'm not looking at anyone else, why would anyone be looking at me? Because we're all there for our own purpose.
Yeah. But you don't ever realize that until you've been in the gym and experienced
No.
that yourself. And so many women watching this will think, I could never step foot in a gym because of how self conscious they feel.
Mhm.
But you built up that confidence through a period. And then the next challenge was, let's get you in the gym. And we've done that consistently now for ages.
No, definitely. And I think for me, a big thing, my gym had a ladies section. So I
Yeah.
used the ladies section for quite a wee bit actually for certain exercises, especially when it's like more the free weights, I used the ladies section. And that really helped me, I suppose, just get in the rhythm in the gym. And then I have ventured out into the wider zone now.
Yes, love that. And I think as well, even me as a coach, like when I go into a new gym or use new equipment, like I make a fool of myself. I feel embarrassed. I feel like people are looking at me. So I think it's also about normalizing that feeling is
Oh,
normal. And
yeah.
actually, I always say this to you guys. I'm like, if you were to go to a party where you knew nobody, you would feel like a lemon, like you'd be standing about. And it's the same. It's just an uncomfortable environment that we're not familiar with.
It's definitely, I think it's that because I've went through quite a lot of life changes recently, keep in my head that, nothing changes if nothing changes. So you have to be a little bit uncomfortable to be able to feel more comfortable, if that makes sense. Because if you
Yeah,
don't do anything, you're always just going to feel like that.
totally. What made you actually get on the call with me? Obviously, feeling how you were feeling, that must have been really nerve-wracking. Like,
Mhm.
why were we the right fit?
I think I've been following you for quite a while before I initially reached out to you. And I think I was just, that kind of following you, seeing the community. And then it was in the new year, just went through some personal stuff at home. And I was just really sitting at home looking through my Instagram and your post came up. And I was like, actually, Nicole, you need to do something about this rather than just watching other people do it. You need to do something about yourself because you feel this way and you don't want to feel this way in the next year. And then as soon as I got on the call with you, I think we clicked straight away. You really got where I was coming from and kind of like you had that experience with other people that were, so it is you've got to start somewhere. And I think you understood that you didn't want me to go from 0 to 100 straight away. You really eased me into it. I think that really helped me in having you at the end of a message or a call, really just, yeah, having that accountability with you really helped me, especially at the beginning, but also even still now, like 2
Yeah,
years in, I feel like it's nice having that accountability and having someone to bounce off of.
totally. Yeah. It's such a journey, and it's like there's so many different avenues you can take with it, and you continue to learn more about yourself and continue growing as a person as well.
Yeah. I think it's one of those, like, things that I've realised because 'cause we've done 2 target weights now, and I think every time we've done a different section of a journey, emotions are different, you do different stages in your life, so it is that it's not just you're not just repeating, everything's new,
Yeah.
and you've got to kinda understand that your life's completely different each time, so you've just got to kind of make sure you've got the accountability there and the discipline. I've struggled at times, but you've helped me bring it back.
Yeah, it's about just keeping on going and not giving up
Mhm,
on yourself. And we've had new jobs, we've had houses bought, we've moved into the house, like all this exciting stuff, which massively disrupts your routine, and that's
mhm.
really, really normal. And at a time where you maybe would give up, it's like, no, we're navigating this, moving past it, and working towards
Yeah,
different things.
I think that's something I've had in the past. It's like I've done like the traditional, like mainstream diets that you see advertised everywhere, and it's very
Mhm.
much target driven. But then once you reach the target, you're kind of like, okay, I'm there that now, so I don't need to do anything else. But actually, you just then slip back into old habits.
Yeah.
Whereas with you and sustainable coaching, it's very much I've reached my target and then I've been thinking, well, how do I incorporate, keep that that I've learned in my day to day life, but also what's the next goal? What do I want to achieve? How do I want to make myself feel a little bit better? And that's been a huge difference mentally.
And that's how you sustain the results, because that is a lot of the problems that we see in diet culture right now. It's
Mhm,
like get to the end goal, go back to normal, pile all the way back on, and the same cycle repeats for
mhm,
years. That's exhausting. Like we've been in like a maintenance slash build since the shoot in June.
mhm.
And you've, a couple of kg, which is completely normal, but you've been able to maintain your results in that 6 month period. It would have been really easy for you to put all of that weight back on.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's what I've done in the past. I think that is where I was when we had that initial call, is because I was like stuck in that cycle and I thought, well, what's the point if it's never going to last?
Yeah.
And it's just been the way I've approached it, who I've been working with, and just also just, I suppose, focusing more on cutting things out rather than actually adding things into my lifestyle, like going to the gym, looking at the protein, which I never really looked at before. Um, the walks, like all of it plays a massive part. And now I kind of understand how you have to look at every little bit and not just focus on the one thing.
So if a woman was watching this who, like yourself at the beginning, was like really nervous, lacking that confidence and belief, watching other people achieve it and thinks, I'll never get to that point or I'll never be able to go to the gym, like what would you say? Or even to friends and family, what do you say to them on their journey to encourage them to start something? What would your advice be?
Advice would be that you don't need to completely overhaul your life to begin with. It's all little steps. So even just taking the initial step to have a call with you, you're moving in the right direction. You're thinking that you want a change. And I think first you have to have that mental shift that you want a change for yourself. And then just, take it one step at a time. Don't have ridiculous targets where you want to go from never going to the gym to suddenly going to the gym 5 days a week. It's just, I feel like I've made little changes throughout the time that I've been with you, and now it's ingrained in my day-to-day life. But I didn't start that way. It was a struggle to begin with, getting back, like going into, the first couple workouts, I wasn't really good at all. And it was so easy. I think if I had just been by myself, I would have just
Mhm.
been like, I don't like that move. I'm not very good at that move. I'm going to do something different.
Yeah.
Then I would never have seen results from it. So yeah, I think my biggest advice that I say to family and friends is, take it step by step, change little things and add habits on, and eventually you'll get where you want to go.
Yeah. And do you think you would have got to this point, 50 pounds down nearly, on your own, or do you think you needed that support and guidance?
Yeah, I don't think I would have. Like, I feel like where I was, and because I suppose I've always had, I said, I changed the narrative about myself. I think I always had the narrative, I just wasn't a fitness person. I wasn't very fit. My body couldn't do that. I think in my head also, like looking back at progress photos, I knew I'd put on weight, but I don't think I quite realised where I was, even though I felt really down on myself. So no, I don't think I would have got where I am now without your support and guidance, purely for the fact I think I would have struggled and given up and just not had that discipline to, be like, oh, well, I'm not perfect straight away, so I'm not going to do it. Whereas I think for you, you really ingrained that, all these exercises, all this like changing out my meal plans, it's all new to me. So it's not going to be perfect straight away. But if I
Yeah.
stick to it, eventually I will get better at it. And there's always progress to be made.
I think we set an initial milestone based off of we don't really know what, and then we
Mhm.
get to that point, and then, you know, it's not up to me to tell you when you're at your happy place, but as a coach, you can tell when you're not quite there yet because you'll know how different you felt in those moments. And yeah, okay, it was a second shoot, but also you were just more confident in how you looked. And that was because you probably didn't think you'd ever get to that first weight.
Mhm.
And then did, it was like, right, we
Yeah,
can keep pushing on to this second.
definitely. Because I think on actually, before we even left the first photo shoot, I was a bit like, actually, because we were at the point where we were like, okay, we've hit the target. We're going to just look at maintaining. And I was like, do you know, actually, I think I can push it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did.